I'm here with Dimity Reed in Melbourne, and Dimity, thank you very much for joining me.
It's a pleasure, Jan.
I wanted to say just a little bit about you before we start talking. You're one of the founders of actually Women in Architecture in the mid-1970s in Australia. The first woman president of the Victorian chapter of the Royal Australian Institute of Architects. Can you tell me, how did you come to architecture? Was it something that you always wanted to do as a child?
My parents were very interested in architecture. Neither of them were educated, but they found it a very interesting thing, and they would walk us as young kids. We grew up in South Melbourne, walk us around South Melbourne, and pointing out things. And I remember a key moment when my mother took us to the Capitol Theatre, inside this wonderful, wonderful building, all aglow with lights and everything in Swanston Street. And she said, "This is architecture." And I think that my older brother became an architect too, and I think it was a defining moment for all of it.
Did you think, I can do that? Or I
No,
want to do
regrettably,
that?
I didn't. Having a healthy ego, that missed me. I just thought, thank heavens he did it. That was important. Also, in South Melbourne, I watched the Housing Commission demolish a lot of workers' housing, all rented, but blocks and blocks of it. Okay. And my grandmother, who we lived with, knew all these people. And I became very aware of the need for public housing. And I think that was the other defining moment in my thesis in architecture. It was on public housing and access to it. And I've continued that all my life.